Alright, it's your boy Saint Rayne. We're back on Inconsistent Podcast, and I got my boy AG Dynasty with me, and we're talking about Jedi
Yes,
Fallen
sir.
Order and Jedi Survivor, which I still haven't played yet.
It's all good. I got you on that.
But yeah, I got my boy with me because he's actually he actually likes this game. Did you play the first one? You played the first one.
I've only played a little bit of it.
Okay.
I honestly skipped this game and just went straight to Jedi Survivor, but I know the story of Fallen Order.
Okay, so you probably made the smarter decision.
Yeah. No, because if I'm being real, so one of the biggest pet peeves with the community when Fallen Order came out was the game. First of all, was very unwieldy. Like it had like it didn't play properly. You know what I'm saying? It was the map was difficult to look at, and the combat wasn't as
Oh, you said the map? Oh my god.
Yeah, the map was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the map is very difficult to look at in this game, and the combat isn't as chiseled down as it is in Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor combat is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But Fallen Order is like it's difficult. It is an actual difficult game because of the mechanics. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. This game is really well liked. This game is really well liked, and so it got a sequel like you played.
Yeah.
And when I say I've been waiting for a Star Wars game for like so long, like I played Battlefront one, not the OG ones that everybody be talking about. Like I played those back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't love them like that. Like I didn't really fall in love with them or anything like that. So Battlefront was always like, oh, this fun multiplayer Star Wars game
Right.
that people played. If you like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's cool.
Multiplayer was amazing on that.
Yeah, I was more of a Force Unleashed kind of person.
Force Unleashed, yeah.
Or I started getting into like the Star Wars, the Old Republic games.
Oh,
where
yeah,
it was like more
KOTOR,
RPG. Yeah, more of the RPG stuff. So I kind of like those games more so. But when I played Battlefront 1 of the next gen games, and then especially Battlefront 2, where they fixed all the microtransaction BS and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and that game just became like a really fun game to play.
Fact.
I could just pop that game on by myself or with friends, and we have a good time. It's always a great time to play that game. But I always wanted a Star Wars game that was more of a single player, or if not, it didn't have to be strictly single player, but at least as far as the campaign, I wanted one that was more focused on the RPG, where I could have a character, whether it's a custom character or an original character for the story. I wanted one that had like a really good feeling of, and we say this all the time, like taking advantage of the IP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted to play a Star Wars game where I felt like it rivaled Horizon Zero Dawn, or it rivaled God of War.
That's your motto, bro. Yeah, you gotta put that at the beginning of every podcast.
What?
Take advantage of your IP.
Yeah, for real.
That's your motto, bro. For real.
Hey, but y'all put me onto that. Like, for real, that was a good thing that came out of the last video, because that really is the best way to put it. You know what I mean? Like, and this is something that I say, like, before, I've said it before, where games can copy, like, Batman, Arkham Knight, and, like, they can still fail. And you can have the exact same gameplay as Arkham Knight and still fail. But what made Arkham Knight work is that it took advantage of its IP.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Batman isn't super strong. He's not super fast. So he has to use tools. He has to use gadgets. His hand-to-hand combat is signature to his character, to his IP. So he has to be good at hand-to-hand. And then the grapple hook. And as they went more and more into the games, it was like, oh, his cape, he can fly with that.
Yep.
Oh, he has a Batmobile. He can fight with that. He can ride with that. He can launch himself into the air with that. Like they really took advantage of it. You know what I mean? As opposed to just playing it safe and whatever. And when we were talking about, when me and my friend, when me and Noble was talking about the Spider-Man game, I was kind of like hard on the PS4 Spider-Man, because I felt like Web of Shadows really took advantage of being a Spider-Man game and a comic book game. There was like Wolverine was in it, Venom's in it, Nick Fury's in it, but all this other stuff is happening. Spider-Man moves super fast. He's not realistic. You know what I mean? He's super strong, super fast. They took advantage of it. So my biggest issue with this Star Wars game is I don't feel like it takes advantage of being a Jedi. You know what I mean? It's like the idea of him running on walls and stuff like that, like I've seen it in other games. For me, it seems very basic.
Right.
I don't like it. Like not to say he shouldn't be able to do that. I think he should be able to do that.
Right.
But I think it should be a normal, not that big a deal kind of thing, as opposed to it being the life or death situation. It almost always is because this game is designed as a platformer.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to more so of a superhero game that I think would suit a single player Star Wars game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I expect the Jedi to be making dangerous leaps or whatever, or having to jump great distances or whatever. So it following the Dark Souls gameplay style is so like weird sometimes, because sometimes it's lit. Like when you're in a in a duel or something like that, like that sense of having to know how to play and the rules and the fights and stuff, I think it works. But in terms of just the overall gameplay, I don't think.
Map, bro.
I hate this map, bro. I hate the map, and the map is a whole separate thing.
Blue. It's like, way better in Jedi Survivor.
Cause I can read the map sometimes, and sometimes I just can't.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I just walk around, so I'll figure it out. Like that's just like going back to the Soulsborne. So
yeah, the Soulsborne stuff.
I was the same way. I was like, why is this game a Soulsborne game? Like, why isn't it just lightsabering people, blocking shots? So like why is it difficult? And I think it goes back to, like, I remember this one YouTuber was they did like a video essay on Jedi Survivor, and he was even saying the same thing. He was like, it more in line with the storyline than the actual idea of a Jedi, right? Like with Cal's specific story, right? Mm-hmm. If the reason it fits is because Cal, at least in the second game, he's grieving, he's dealing with trauma of Order 66 and all this stuff, and including this game too, he's dealing with it. And it's the idea of futility against the Empire, right? You keep getting knocked down, but you keep getting back up to fight against the Empire, right? Because the Empire seems like this immovable force that you can't. It's almost, no matter how many people you kill in the Empire, they keep coming after you. And so I feel like that the way he explained it in the video was like, that's the reason these games have the Soulsborne like quality to it.
And that's fine. The challenge, like looking at the gameplay, where I don't mind that the stormtroopers are lit. Yeah. Like the stormtroopers can actually kill you. Yeah. I don't mind that because everybody makes jokes about the stormtroopers having trash aim, and stormtrooper aim and stuff like that. But in this game, it's like Cal would never laugh at that joke. This man has survived some fatal. Crazy stuff. So I don't mind the difficulty of it. What I mean more so is the restrictions placed on Cal himself, and by extension, the restrictions placed on the player. You know what I mean? Because even if you're gonna copy Dark Souls in terms of having to go to a bonfire and having the enemies respawn every time you go to a bonfire, like you're really copying Dark Souls right now. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're right about that. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna copy Dark Souls, then let's look at what Dark Souls also did. Dark Souls gave us like 50 spells, and Dark Souls gave us like 15 weapon types, and Dark Souls gave us like 10 armor types, and an extensive list of armors and locations of armors and charms and blessings. And it wasn't just it was difficult. It being difficult was just the start of the game. Yeah. You start the game getting killed, but hey man, look, you're by the end of the game, you're that guy, you're that nigga. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, I know, you're right. And Elden Ring, you're the Elden Lord. Like, come on.
I will say Jedi Survivor builds on that way better.
I hope so, because I feel like this game treats the ability to force push and force pull. They treat it like that's like the most godly thing in the world. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I'm playing Harry Potter right now, and I'm force pulling everything and force pulling it. And I'm just like, come on, we could have been past this.
So you have all those powers at the beginning of the game in Jedi Survivor. I'll tell you that right now. So every power you train to get throughout this game, you have all of them at the beginning of Jedi Survivor. So like in that sense, like yes, it is much better. But I see what you're saying.
My thing is like, if you're gonna copy a game that's like Dark Souls, you can't skimp. Like, there's no outfits in this game. There's definitely no armor. Like, there's no armor. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no like You're not sitting here like, okay, I'm going to put a stormtrooper helmet on because, you know, this it's bullet resistant or something like that. Yeah. But you're still copying Dark Souls. But Dark Souls has helmets and chest pieces, and you know, you beat someone and you get their armor, and that's the thing for you to do.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? This game doesn't have that. And then on top of that, like, okay, you're a platformer, and goddamn, I ain't never asked for no Star Wars platformer.
Yeah,
and I'll never ask you for a Star Wars platform.
It's crazy, bro. Like
this slide, bro. This blue slide you about to see me do. I'm still probably here, bro. I think I'm still here. Like I don't think I've gotten past this. That's why I'm about to pull up a guide, and I'm gonna finish this game before I play Survivor because I always have to do that. Like because I'm a narrative-based person, and I have to finish the first game. Like I bought a PS4. And I hadn't finished Mass Effect 3. I didn't even play Mass Effect 3. So I replayed Mass Effect 2 with all the DLC. Then played Mass Effect 3 with all the DLC. Then finished off my PS3. And my PS3, and I put it away and I got PS4.
Frustration in this gameplay, bro. Like you being just pissed off, just like you just walking around being like, what the fuck? Where do I go? You have no idea. So Jedi Survivor has these types of moments too. I'm just forewarning you.
Okay,
Jedi has these types of moments too, where I get so frustrated. I'm like, where the fuck do I go? This stupid game. Like, bro, I was complaining to one of my other homies. Like, bro, I was like, bro, why? Like, video games supposed to be fun, bro. Like, why am I struggling to find where to go? Like, I just don't understand that shit. But no, go ahead, bro.
No, I don't. You just hit a good point, bro. Cause like. That's what I'm saying. Like you see the wall running and stuff like this. But then like, why would you not want to go? Even if you want to keep the Dark Souls difficulty, why would you not want to go more of a Spider-Man route in a game where you have someone who has super speed, reflexes, super jump, you know, enhanced durability and whatever. They can stop laser bullets. They can dash. Like these are super powerful characters. Why am I like wall running for 2 seconds to jump to a rope? Like, I mean, I understand maybe he can't cling to walls or something, but like, this game bores me, man. Like, but the combat is good. I actually do like the combat. I don't mind the challenge of it. And I mean, I'm hoping to see more of the worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I post some videos, like, I know the landscape is beautiful. The visuals is beautiful. It's just, it kills me that it's not really more of an explorative game.
I will say Jedi Survivor has a bigger open world. Like Kobo is huge and there's a lot to do. The side missions are fun and stuff. But in terms of, it's crazy, like people was complaining about this. Technically, this game has more planets than Jedi Survivor. But Jedi Survivor, each of the planets are just built out more. If
that's good.
Sense. So, but it's like, this game has more planets than the next game, so.
That's good, cause, I mean, like I played No Man's Sky, and you know that game has infinite planets.
Yeah, that procedural generation.
And I definitely think that game would do better for having maybe like 20 planets. If it had 20 planets, I think would be cool. And if all 20 of those planets were different. You know,
yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it. I'd be like, damn, there's a lot of planets, and that's cool.
Which is why Starfield is crazy. Because there's 100 planets.
You know, and like, I'm pretty sure they're all gonna be fire.
But here's the thing, like in real life, a lot of nothing happens on these planets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and like people are complaining, like, oh, like they're all procedural generated. Well, in real life, planets are procedural. Like in real life, that's how planets are formed. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think No Man's Sky would definitely be better if it was a little bit less procedurally generated, or like if the procedural generation had more handcrafted stuff in it, or it was like condensed somewhere. But shit, it was a vibe. Yeah. It was a vibe, you know what I'm saying? So the Jedi Fallen Order, man, it's like the worlds are beautiful. I don't get to see it. I've been in this tunnel for years, bro.
I'm just stuck in it, just grinding, man.
Like when I had this fight right here, I was like, I'm making progress. It's so beautiful. I've done something different.
And I feel like there's a certain section of the population that likes that, like the idea of like, oh, I've been searching forever just to get to this one room, and I finally figured out where I'm going, and like, I feel like certain people like that, but it's just like me, I just don't have the time to do that. Like I don't have the time to just walk around forever, you know what I'm saying?
And you know, this scene right here is exactly what I see in like the Star Lord game, the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Like it starts off just like this, you know, and it's immediately why I don't like that game.
That'd be fire, yeah.
No, it's not fly. It's horrible, bro. Because it's more of, it's like, again, like, why are we taking a character who can fly? Like, Star Lord has jet boots.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the Guardians has rockets, you know, has a jetpack or something. Why are they all restricted to the ground? Why do they all have to walk everywhere? You know what I mean? Like, why are we all having to climb and do the shimmy dance across across these little landscapes? You know what I mean? Like, I'm over platformer games, especially if you're gonna take a platformer and make it a Dark Souls clone.
I can definitely feel that.
I'm over it. I want to praise this game's like level design though. You know, I think visually the game is actually really good. Really good. Like, no matter where I'm at, one thing I will say is that this game does visually take me into the game. The character model looks cool. I do wish she was a created character. I don't know if it's just
RPG. You want an RPG element?
I would have much preferred it because I don't care about anything. Like, the story, I feel like the story could have been anybody. Like, he could have been voiced by the same actor, and this guy could have been like the default, like Commander Shepard has a default or whatever. Like, he could have been the default look for this guy. I don't care. But I think I would have preferred if this was a custom character, as opposed to, even if they made a movie for him and they said this is what he looks like this is him, whatever. This is the canon version. I wouldn't have cared. Let me have a custom character in a Star Wars game where I'm gonna, because again, like Dark Souls does it. If you're gonna copy Dark Souls, why not copy everything that's good? Like, why do you have, like, I feel like they half-assed it, like, and not for the platformer events or whatever. Like, I feel like it's really weird. You know what I mean?
You make a good point. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, if you're gonna copy Dark Souls, why not go all the way? Like,
just as Star Wars. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I said, like, they treated force push and force pull like those are, like, you know, the greatest Star Wars abilities ever. But it's like, bro, if you were to, like, you know, open up a Star Wars Wikipedia or something, like, there's things in there, there's something in there to add more to the game, you know, to flesh it out, where, you know, even if it's not like we're learning super crazy, like we're not shooting lasers from our eyes or whatever, but there's combat styles. Like, there's a reason why Mace Windu fights the way he does or whatever. Like, you gave us different lightsaber colors, but for what? I unlocked all the lightsaber colors the minute I unlocked lightsaber colors. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why lightsabers have a color. There is a reason. You craft it, the spirit of your character or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? It leaks into the crystal. It's not in the game, bro. It's not in the game. You hit a workbench, you know a red lightsaber is bad, so okay, you don't get that. But all the other lightsabers, they don't get none of that feeling, that earnness. If it was the Dark Souls good clone, you know, you would have to go through some kind of quest line or something, even if it was, whether it was superficial or deep, you know, you would still have to go through something just to feel like, okay, I earned this crystal color or something like that. And it's cool that they treat it like, you know, like it's just the aesthetic, you know, they didn't want to trip about it or whatever. Yeah. But I just feel like if you're gonna give me the Dark Souls combat, give me the Dark Souls world. You know what I mean? And especially, I mean, this first one came out before Elden Ring, I think.
Yeah, this is 2018, right?
Yeah, so, you know, it not being an open world, you know, that's, sure, whatever. You know, like, open world is, people feel how they feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of like space. I like to have space. I like to have a little space. If I'm playing something like Uncharted, because I don't really play Uncharted like that. I don't think it's bad or anything. Yeah. But if I'm gonna play something like Uncharted or The Last of Us or BioShock, you know, like I played BioShock Infinity and I beat it in one night. You know what I mean? Because it's a roller coaster. Like, if I'm gonna play a roller coaster game, like, tell me it's a roller coaster game, but make that make that game a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like make it a roller coaster. Make me not want to put the controller down. Don't make it a platformer. Like, don't make me have to figure out the puzzle pieces. Like, like I don't know if you know, Uncharted is super heavy on puzzles. Like, I know it probably has like some kind of figure that out because he's a treasure hunter. So there's a little bit of Tomb Raiding in it or whatever. But for the most part, Uncharted is known as like a cinematic video game. It's like, hey, it's a movie. You know, like they made it where it's like, hey, here's a normal guy, no powers. And he's in the craziest situations ever.
Some Indiana Jones.
Some Indiana Jones shit. Like, he wakes up on a train that's falling off of a cliff. Play the game. Like, this is the game you're playing. You know what I mean? And now, if you're gonna do that with the Jedi, I feel like you gotta up it a little bit. Like, hey, here's a Jedi. He's in a spaceship. It's crashing.
I don't know if have you seen Star Wars Outlaws?
Is that the new one coming out?
It's the new open world Star Wars game coming out next year. Yeah. Like, that's all I ever wanted. You play as a gangster and it's open world. Like, that's literally all. I don't even want to play as a Jedi anymore. If I'm being no cap, I don't want to play as a Jedi no more. I mean, I would love to just play a regular character in Star Wars universe, like some Han Solo type. Like, that's perfect for me.
I just want, like, if we're gonna make a character driven Star Wars game, I feel like you have to scale this character respectfully to like make him as worthy of as any of these other characters that get their own personal game. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna make Link from Zelda or Kratos from God of War, Aloy from Horizon, you know, Spider-Man, Batman, these people have to be like, even if they start off weak or depowered or whatever, like, if you're gonna make me play as someone else, this person has to be like the god by the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like, because why else am I playing as this why am I playing as this person?
It's a power fantasy.
It's a power fantasy, you know what I mean? And if you're gonna make me weak, if you're gonna make me feel like, oh, I'm level 1, everybody else is level 10, then let me play as myself.
You're right.
Let me RPG this shit as myself, so that I can see myself get stronger in a video game. You know what I mean? Like, and even if I'm not super OP or something like that, like, at least let me have that power fantasy where it's like, okay, bro, you know, I'm one of a billion other people who's gonna be playing it themselves, so we're all about the same level or whatever. But I enjoyed my game because it's me. You know what I mean? Like, I have to force myself to finish Fallen Order. I'm really gonna have to force myself to finish that game.
I mean, if you gotta force yourself, that means the game's not that good.
I don't like the lack of freedom or custom anything in that game. You know, it's very lackluster in terms of things that excite me personally. The gameplay, whether it's exciting gameplay as a Jedi or the customization of a Souls game, none of that is in Fallen Order. And so I'm just like, okay, I gotta play as this guy who plays like he's from the Crash Bandicoot era of video games.
Crash Bandicoot.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, all right, it's cool. But I do love a lot of things about the game. I like the combat. I like the graphics. I like the character or the characters that show up. I think the world is immersive when I'm not stuck sliding down the same freaking tunnel over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it, you're like, okay, now I can do things.
Yeah, once
but
you get to new
places,
it
takes hours to get to that level. It's it took me 15 hours to get good at Jedi Survivor, and it's not like, and I was like basically almost halfway through the game, and I was like, okay, now I understand. Now I understand the rhythm of the game. It'll be like, it should not take me that long. When Cyberpunk, it took me like immediately I got the game.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like, I should get into the rhythm of things. And I mean,
it might be because like I'm a first-person shooter type of person. So me playing Cyberpunk, like I caught on to the guns because I know gunplay. I know how this shit works. I've played Halo, Call of Duty my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this shit. Like, I'm strictly a first-person shooter. Like, that's where I come from, is first-person shooters. So like I'm very good at that type of stuff. So I got Cyberpunk immediately. But it's like Jedi Survivor is third person, and I'm not saying I've played Gears of War. I'm very good at Gears of War, but it's still completely different. You know what I'm saying? Gears of War, you still chainsawing people like.
See, I'm an RPG person, so I come from like. Even though I started off with like fighting games, even fighting games, I consider fighting games RPGs.
Games are so difficult.
But fighting games are like an RPG, right? Yeah. Where it's like it's a turn-based game. Yeah. It's just we're taking turns hitting each other.
You gotta learn the combos like
yeah.
So perfectly, bro. It's so
but it's like fighting games is like the fastest paced RPG turn-based thing ever, right? But in general, I come from like RPG, so even something like Gears of War, even though it's a shooter first, like me and Nova would play Gears of War or something, and it would be like, all right, I'm gonna pick my favorite character or my favorite looking character or whatever, and then figure out how to play from there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you play in Call of Duty or something like that, and you find a gun that works for you.
It works.
You know what I mean? Like it's that. Like that's things like that is what makes games work for me. Because games where like I can't change the things I don't like, or the things that I don't like don't get better over time because of the game making it work somehow. Like the game has to make it work somehow. If the game's not gonna make me like this, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't, and you're not letting me change it. Like Xenoverse didn't have like Super Saiyan God in the game or something like that. So I wanted Super Saiyan God. So what I did was I went and got Kaioken. And then I put a wig on so that my hair would be black. And then I just went Kaioken and I just beat people's asses and shit. And like, I'm Super Saiyan God.
That's so hot.
And then eventually they dropped Super Saiyan God, and I was like, even better. But until then, I was chilling with it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, whatever game, like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Pokemon, like, it don't matter. Like, as long as you put in
some level of customization,
that's real to your world.
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Pokemon, like you bring up Pokemon, I mean we gotta wrap this up, but no, this is the last thing I'll say. Pokemon is like the way you can customize your party and which Pokemon.
Right.
Bro, I would always be getting the dragon Pokemon. I was like, bro, I'm getting this dragon Pokemon. Let's get it, bro.
And you know what's crazy is that like Pokemon has, you know, they have the canon version of the characters. Like there's Trainer Red, Trainer Blue, and all that. And like each trainer has like their actual, you know, Pokemon starter or whatever. For each game that you play is there's an actual Pokemon trainer that goes with that game, and an actual like team of Pokemon, you know, from the starter that you pick and the starter that your rival gets. Like, but Pokemon as a game doesn't care. If you were to watch like the anime or you were to like read the manga, then you would see like what the actual thing is. But you playing the game, you get to have your own experience. You know what I mean? That's the point of a video game. Like, if you're gonna make me watch someone else, I'm supposed to be like the key. I'm his spirit. Like if I'm watching Kratos, I'm the spirit. Like I'm Kratos' like soul or something. Like, I'm the thing that he can't control. So it's like, damn, I can't change the script. Like I can't change your fate. That's your fate, bro. You're fated to kill your wife and do all this crazy shit. But hey, bro, no one's gonna kill you until then because we going ham in this bitch, bro. You know what I'm saying? We going in. Yeah, I wanted that from a Star Wars game so badly, bro. Like where it's like, okay, either I'm playing as myself and so I'm, you know, it's 1-to-1 and I'm just having that same 1-to-1 connection, or if I'm playing as someone else, like I'm getting lit. I'm getting fired up off of what's going on.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not feeling disconnected. Like, there's too many disconnects in these Star Wars games, especially with the platforming tidbits mixed with, like, it's not the difficulty. Like, the difficulty doesn't really turn me off. Yeah. The difficulty, if anything, brings me back into the game. Yeah. Because I get into the fights, like, I got to be on my toes. You know what I mean? And so, like, I respect that. But it's just the lack of either me getting attached to Cal as a protagonist. Like, I don't care for the cutscenes. I don't care for the cutscenes. Not because they're not good or anything, just because I don't care. Like, cutscenes don't add to me in a game a lot of times past Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy done did cutscenes to death.
Yeah, they cutscenes great.
You know what I mean? Like, I play Kingdom Hearts, like...
Probably, like, Hideo Kojima with Metal Gear.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima, like... Yeah. But the thing, like, Hideo Kojima, he'll do cutscenes, but he'll do them, like, in-game, and he'll make you feel like...
I mean, God. I don't know about that, bro. This man had an hour-long cutscene in Death Stranding. Hour-long cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5.
True. But he had the gameplay to go with it though.
Yeah, no. He's a master.
Because I remember in Metal Gear Solid 5, I had to fight Quiet, and she was like super fast or something like that. And I had a sniper rifle, and I saw when she like turned invisible, and I seen like the little dust prints on the floor, and I just like aimed in front of the dust prints, and I shot her. And then like she came back into view. I just felt like I shot the Flash. I was like,
that's hard.
That's hard. Like to put that option, to put that in the game, bro. Like,
man, no, he definitely thinks that.
He did that. Like he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Hideo Kojima's a boss, bro. Like, he's definitely a boss. But
I'm excited for his new game. He's making a new game for Xbox. I'm very excited for
God.
that. I'm very excited.
Xbox, go away. Oh, you know what? We're gonna end it here because I'm so tired of this Xbox shit, bro. It was Starfield, and now it's Hideo Kojima. Like, damn. I mean, Death Stranding is great. Is Death Stranding on Xbox?
No, it's only PlayStation. Death Stranding 2 is also gonna only be PlayStation.
I hope Death Stranding 2 is gonna be better. I'm gonna do a review for that because I have a lot to say about that game.
I hope it has more action and more biomes. This first game boring, bro.
Bro, I hope it has a lot. I hope it has more game.
I want vehicles, bro. Like, go the full open world, bro.
Death Stranding is not a game.
That's just a walking simulator.
I love it. I wouldn't say it's a walking simulator. I can see why a lot of people do say it's a walking simulator. I feel like it's more of a painting. It's just a painting. It's just a canvas.
It's Kojima feeling himself, bro.
I definitely think so.
He's like, give me old. He had blank check. Sony was like, just do whatever you want. Kojima be pissing me off, bro. Sometimes I'll be like, bro, I love this dude, but he be pissing me off, bro.
Oh my god, that is an inconsistent podcast if I've ever seen one.
The creator. Stop playing.